Welcome back to a little update video. We are talking today about AMC, GME, BYND, FFAI, OKLO, GoPro, and IWM and VIX. If you're interested, just stay tuned. As always, I'm using the Fractal theory explanation video for that with the rules and how it works. I will link at the end of the video. Good, then let's jump into AMC and GME. So first of all, how we structure this video today. Today we start with GME because I was always saying GME will give us the first answer before AMC. AMC will, even with the bearish version, still look good over weeks. GME will give us the answer first, which in my opinion, it kinda did on Friday. Next thing is, I know it was a fucking red Friday, but that's not an excuse for any ticker to break levels, to make that absolutely clear. And to be fair, the only ticker which broke our levels on this Friday was GameStop. BYND came close, but all the other ones made their pullbacks, but nothing failed its tracking except GameStop. But I was a little bit angry on Friday, not because of the movement. I will show why. Yeah, but I wasn't really neutral. Yeah? So as always, I will try to look at this as neutral as possible, and I looked for a bullish alternative and a bearish alternative, as always. For GameStop, we start with the bullish one, of course. The only thing, and first of all, if you want to see how the possible squeeze for GameStop should look like, mid-price targets and so on, I will link the big roadmap video at the end of the video. Today, we just look what we have done. The only way to track GameStop still bullish is if we are using a little trick. With our main tracking, it's impossible, just saying. And the little trick would be that this is our first fractal, and this are just higher lows. I will come to that in a second. It's the same like 2021, where you just said, this is first fractal, and these are just higher lows. For this, our low was here, the Japanese crash in 2024. And the first higher low which we did was this thing. Yeah? It was a perfect higher low here under the 786, under BYND. And the second one was from November 2025 till last Friday, but in my opinion, it's not finished yet. We went under the 786, but because of this price action, in my opinion, we are not finished. What do I mean with that? That the problem with the bullish and the bearish version on Friday was, if you're already a longer watcher, it was absolutely no-go to break under the 786. It was a no-go because our main tracking was that we have our C, our lower high, our midpoint, our T. We broke over T. This had to be A, but A isn't allowed to break the 786. In that case, because I can't, I really tried it, I can't put T anywhere else. I can't. This has to be T. In that case, even for the bullish version, we have to go lower where it started. We have to. I would say if we do that, this will take whole next week till Friday. And that's the thing, I only give it till next week Friday. Yeah. In my opinion, if we not see a fucking crazy move to the upside on Monday the 15th, I have no way anymore to track this bullish. Also, if you look at this pullback here, yeah, let's go on the 30-minute. Yeah, if we just track this, yeah, we have the same picture. We have a top, a C, a lower high, a midpoint. Where's the T? We have two cases here. We could go up a little bit on Monday to, I would say, 22.07. Yeah? This would be then our T, or this is already our T, but we have to go lower. Yeah? For levels, to make that absolutely clear, and that's for both versions, I would think we have to go under this level here, even for the bullish version. Yeah? 20.51. Yeah? But there we have to bounce. Yeah? So pull back till Friday and bounce would be perfect. Again, everything under 1961, and I have no possibility, no, nothing. That this would be something for me 100%, and that's not happen often. Anything under 1961, and I have no bullish version left. I just don't. Yeah. For levels to the upside, yeah, because as I said, I only presenting my ideas. I can be wrong, and this time I would even say, I hope I am. Yeah, really, I hope. I brag for it that I'm wrong. Yeah, everything over 23.76 is bullish, and our old level, everything over 26.25, also $26.25. And there is no bearish alternative anymore. Yeah, and for GameStop especially, and for AMC, I only have to say, I hope. I don't see any chance to go on Monday. I don't see any chance. Yeah, but if we do something which is not in my tracking, if we squeeze on Monday, for example, yeah, really, and that's not happen often, I tell you, if that happens, write me that I was a shit, my tracking was shit, and I was wrong, and I would be glad about that. So let's hope that you can write me this on Monday. Really good. That was the bullish perspective. Now, sadly, we're coming kind of to the main tracking, the bearish one. Here's the bearish one. And as I said, GameStop broke our level yesterday, or on Friday. Yeah, depends when you watched. Same thing. Yeah, because we broke the 786 here today, this can only be T, the big T. Same tracking. You could still come a little bit up, like the bullish tracking, but then you should drop. The main problem about this right now is that for GameStop, for the main tracking, was always that the squeeze of 2021 was just macro A. We did the pullback into 2024, and we bounced on the 0.5. What 2024 till today was just higher low. Main problem for this shit was always, yeah, and we always gave, or I gave a GME a special stance on this, but a higher low is ending at the 786 or mainly a V under A. And our A is this here. And the A bottom is at 1363. We never did that. This higher low was never finished. Next main problem, we have here our peak of our higher low. We have here our lower high. This lower high ended here. Here was the point that the Japanese crash was the point where the M started. The M never finished, because to finish M, you have to go lower where it started. With this drop on Friday, I think, in my opinion, we have the confirmation that we are now ending M. That means we have to go lower than 1757. Yeah, this point. You will get a bounce somewhere in here. Then all people will say, see, I was right with the 1716 shit, and now we're squeezing. Problem is, in my opinion, we will come up. Probably to this main trend line. I would say so 24, 25. But this would be just T of this higher low. And then you will drop to your V under A. 13.63-ish. Then you will do higher low. Then you have the next chance. Problem is, this is nothing which will happen quick. Yeah? I would say that this low will be November, October, November-ish. Higher low into January. And then we go. That's the shitty part. Also, that's if it would only be GME, yeah, I would say, okay, fuck it. Maybe I have really something wrong. Maybe I oversee something. Main problem is also if you look at the coins. Yeah. Let's start with the GME coin. Yeah. Main problem with GME coin is we already dropped to a new low, and we are very close to a new all-time low. I mean, that doesn't really matter. Main problem is this is clearly a T. And if we look at the comparison to 2024, May, the only time where we did a lower low here was here. So we would still have to do this whole thing. And then the question is, are we even here? Or are we even here? That's the main point. The coin isn't look from tracking wise, if there's anything to it, that's not bullish. That here isn't showing for first nothing for next week, and this isn't even looking for something 2026. Same problem with AMC Sol here. Yeah. Also, AMC Sol made a new low. Yeah, this Friday. If we look at the section from 2024, it's even worse in my opinion, because the only point where we did a lower low on AMC Sol was in April 2024. Also, for AMC Sol, we would have to do this whole thing. Also, AMC Sol, if anything is on this shit, that's not next week. And then one last thing before we jump to AMC, to AMC, is Bitcoin. First of all, because I already saw that today or this weekend, that's not a double bottom. That is a clear break. And I mean, I think every one of you, or most of them, will already know the main version of the general idea of Bitcoin right now. But this is for me nearly a 100% confirmation that we are here, June 2022. It's the main tracking for Bitcoin already. Yeah, where your next target, yeah, for this shit is at least 44K. First version, 34K. Yeah, this isn't bullish. Absolutely not. Yeah, in my opinion, it would be really here in the drop. So you will drop, you will get a bounce, then everyone will scream, "Yay!" You go into all-time highs, and then you get into the last drop. Also, this is nothing which happens quick. Whatever bottom we get, 44K or 34K, this most likely will be October. If anything, I always said I hate if you combine AMC, GME with Bitcoin, because I already showed there is not really sync in this. But if you do, this break on Friday, I don't know what could be more bearish on this. Good. Then let's jump into AMC. Also, as always, if you want to see the big picture, if you want price targets, 1-part squeeze, 2-part squeeze, I will link the big update video at the end again. If you go the bearish route, well, you don't have to watch it. for AMC, also, we start with the bullish one, and then we go into the bearish one. The bullish one is nothing happened. Really, nothing happened. Yeah. As I said, AMC will still look bullish till August, even with the bearish version. Yeah. Because what is this? We had a V, we had our A, we had our A pullback to the 618. That was our main tracking. Here was the part where I waited for the higher low. I will come to that in a second. We didn't got it. And then we went over it to our B. Thing is also AMC isn't looking like there's a chance for next week. Why? Because B is doing a 0.5 pullback, at least. Yeah. And if we go into the micro tracking, then here's our top, our lower high. This on Thursday was our midpoint, which was finished on Friday. And we are now looking for a T. This T could come up here to 190, or this was already T and we're getting our pullback. We should still, it doesn't matter if bullish or bearish version, we should get a bounce at 166 or 155 still for both cases. Yeah. So I would still see downside, a little up and a little bit downside for AMC next week, Friday. Again, also for the bullish version, I give AMC till June 15. We are running out of time. Also here, I would be absolutely 100% glad and happy if I'm wrong. For levels, everything over $2, 1 cent. And this is bullish, and I was wrong. Of course, everything, if we do that, which I don't think, immediately dropped under 149, and that is terrible. Yeah. Again, if we squeeze on Monday, you can write in my comments, I'm chill, my tracking was wrong, and everyone is happy. Yeah. Now to the bearish version. Because we talked about this higher low here. I said already in the video, for the bullish tracking, I was wrong. I was thinking about it now the last hours. What if not? What if I wasn't wrong? What if this was the first, or this outbreak was the first sign, the first confirmation that we are not going in 2026? Why? Just because. You know that if you already watched me longer. 2025, we did a V, big high low, ran to our A, made our pullback, made a higher low before we went into the squeeze. 2024, we made our V, we went to A without a higher low, we made the pullback, we made the higher low before we squeezed. And same like 2021. We made our all-time low, RV, a small higher low, went to A, made a pullback, and made a higher low before we went into the squeeze. The thing that we didn't do this fucking higher low this time could maybe already be the first sign that we are not here. It's the shit part. Where would we be? What would happen if we go bearish? The thing is, I always said in the last months that we have to see something till end of May. Because end of May was in the last 5 years always the top. Always. In that case, if we go bearish, this was our top. AMC would, I will show that in a second. AMC will still pull back. AMC will still go up into July. But in July, we will make a lower high, and then we will drop till December. In that case, if you look what we are doing right now, this was the peak of May. It is 1st of June. Okay, 1 day too late. But this would still be the peak of 2026. What would we do? We would still fall down here. We would still get a bounce. And that's the shitty part. We would go up, but we would make a lower high. and the rest of the year we would fall. Also here, to make that absolutely clear, you will break $1. Maybe even something to 80 to 10 cents. Somewhere in this range. Yeah. And that's the shitty part. Fundamentally, that doesn't make sense. I don't know what news will come out to say, okay, that's logical. Yeah. But for the bearish tracking, it will look something like this, sadly. And it's not 2026 anymore. Yeah. And as I said, the problem is first GME, second Bitcoin, and third problem is AMC Soul. This break isn't bullish. Yeah. Before we jump into the other things, because of the IWM tracking, and that was also the reason why I was a little bit angry on Friday. First of all, in the last video, I said there's a good probability that we are exactly here. Yeah, just to explain it, both are 24-hour charts. Yeah, this one is from 2018 till 2021, and this is November 2021 till today. And I still think it's valid, but the thing is, I was thinking we are here, which was clearly not true. Yeah, we will come into that in a second. So just to explain this again, it's not something with our fractal method. It's just, it looks like, but it works. You have here blue and red here, blue and red here. Difference is this was higher than here, yeah, but still working. In both cases, you had a drop after it. Difference here is this was not so low like here, and these sections are one-to-one. The difference here is that this section already broke all-time high and this not. Explanation for this could be that here we didn't went so low. That's why this whole thing is a little bit higher. If you now zoom in here, you saw you had a breakdown and then a bounce. And on this Friday, I think we did this breakdown. Not only because it looks like it. If we look at our EMAs, give it a second. Here, look where we bounced in 2020. Yeah. This here is the 1 hour EMA. We slightly dipped under it and bounced. On Friday, we knifed to the 100 EMA, 1 hour EMA. I mean, maybe we see still a little bit red on Monday if we really have to go a little bit under it, but this still looks fucking bullish. And this was also the reason why I was a little bit angry on Friday, because in the moment on Friday we broke this level here. I bought a big put position because this was easy. The problem is I only played for the, let's look for the gap fill. Yeah, I only played for this gap fill. Yeah, I sold too early. That's why. And the main thing here is I even saw this what I showed you right now and still sold too early. That's why I was a little bit angry. But this still looks still okay. I would still say maybe Monday is a little bit red, or we're already going up on Monday. Yeah? But now here, the thing, if we say, okay, but if we're doing the same thing, what is with the memes? Back here in 2020, IWM broke out and really nearly straight lined up. The squeeze was here, January 2021. This took us back then 80 days. And I know in the last video I said this could go way quicker. Here it's just what if not? Yeah? Because the main point here is that this section here took us 200 33 days. If we now look at this section here, this took us from this V to this top 426 days. So nearly double. So if this is taking us 80 days, if we double this from this moment, 160 days, that is shooting us into November. And I mean, you shouldn't just one-to-one just multiply it x2, yeah, but it can give you sometimes a good time frame. So if IWM really needs till November to this point, and it's one-to-one like 2020, memes have to do something. That means GameStop down to $16, $13 and AMC down to $1. Yeah, that would be the explanation for this. And the market would be still bullish because this is fucking bullish. Yeah. One last thing before we go into the other memes. We jump into VIX also, because I showed that last time. And in that case, I really was a little bit wrong. Yeah, I really say that. It's not the move on Friday. It didn't destroy main tracking, but I think it's clearly that I was a little bit too short looking. Yeah, because this was VIX. Yeah, straight line up. Yeah, I mean, okay, if you look, Nasdaq dropped 5%, SPY 3%, IWM 4%. Clearly, yeah. But the main tracking is not destroyed. Yeah. We are still in our M, in my opinion, in the macro M. Yeah? And for the micro tracking, well, we did little M, just this little M. There's no other way. Yeah. We could even go a little bit higher on Monday. Yeah. $23-ish. Yeah. But to make this clear, if we do that, I will also buy some VIX puts. Yeah. Don't know, August, October or something like that. Yeah. Because I would still think we reject here, go down, come up to our T, and then ending our M. Yeah. This still looks fucking bearish for VIX. And to make that clear again, VIX up, market down, VIX down, market up. And that's why I still think we have a good chance that this Friday, yeah, was a shitty day, but next week should be green again. Yeah. Only thing here is if you break this level, yeah, because we still have here a gap, but in the moment we are coming too high. If we break something like this, say goodbye to the market, because then something is here wrong and this will break out. And this is market crash territory. Just saying. Don't think that, but a little bit I give VIX to the upside still, but anything higher than 26, oh my God. Yeah. But so nothing changed. Gut. Then let's jump into BYND. Also for BYND here, for the big update video, I will link it at the end of the video. Today we just look what we have done. And the thing for BYND is, it was very close on Friday. Really close. Yeah. The thing for BYND is one thing. We tracked this as an A. This is impossible anymore. Yeah. We broke the 786 line, our no-no line. Yeah. So this can't be A anymore. Can't be. But I said in the video on Friday, yeah, before market opening, I give BYND one, if we do that, one last chance that we do this as a massive higher low. And for that, we have to go V under A. And our V under A was 1721. Yeah, this is our V under A here. And on Friday, we dipped under it. So for the bullish version, this is finished. Yeah. The only thing here is one thing. This is clearly our T. T started here and we finished it on Friday. Yeah. We are not out of the danger zone, to make that absolutely clear. For BYND, we are so close to death, in my opinion. Really, so close to death. If this was the V, yeah, if this was V under A, we might already are in the micro higher low, but we have to fucking bounce here, to make that absolutely clear. We could go a little bit lower, if, as you know, if this is just a little micro higher low, yeah, again, then we could still come to 70.52, yeah? But then we have to bounce. In my opinion, if we break under 70 cents again, yeah, doesn't matter if we're just going sideways now, yeah. If it's Monday or Friday, doesn't matter. One last break under 17 and you will fucking knife and it's over. Yeah? Because to make that absolutely clear, if we go here under 69 cents, this is not higher low. This becomes T or M. If this becomes T or M, you will break all-time low, because this landmark here started here. You have to go lower than this, and then you will break all-time low. And the main problem is, if you're breaking all-time low, this higher low is also that, the macro higher low, the really important one, and this would become T. In that thing, you will go low, 30, 20, 10 cents. Yeah. I mean, they already approved a reverse split. They will do that here. But even if not, the main problem is, because this is T, you would still have to do the macro higher low again. So maximum price would be for this $3. The big ones, not this year, if we do that. Yeah? To make that absolutely clear. For levels, let's look at levels. For if I'm wrong or not. So, of course, everything under 17 and again, and it's over. And I will also be out of my position. Everything over 80 cents is already bullish. Everything over 84 cents, and we can say we are out of the danger zone. And as always, everything over 115, and we never have to talk about the alternative bearish version anymore. Yeah. For this, I really have to say, I won't say I hope I'm wrong. I mean, of course, I hope that I'm wrong, that we're going the bearish route, but we have to bounce here. If we're not bouncing here, there is for me no bullish case anymore. Really, there isn't. So let's see what we get on Monday. Next one, FFAI. And now we're already coming to tickers, which just said on Friday they don't care. To make that absolutely clear, because the only two stocks which did terrible was GameStop and BYND. Everything else is fine. Yeah? We have RC, LMT, FFAI, Squo, Smith, AMC, and GME in 2021. Let's see what that means. For the bullish tracking, again, our V was April 2026. And our main target, if we are finished and if we squeeze, is 150, because we already have a lot of reverse splits. You won't come up here without a forward split. Not possible. But whatever we do, I think it will be a straight line, because I don't think we do the normal A and B pullback, because if you look at the squeezes of FFAI, most of the time there are no A and B pullbacks. For the micro tracking, I think also FFAI gave us a clear vision already last week, because we had two versions. The first version was that this whole thing was an A, and this here would have been the bounce. With this pullback here, same like GME, for example, we went under the 786. This can't be little a anymore. So we have only the bearish and one bullish version. And that just means, as I thought it would be, this is just our macro higher low. We have a weird little T, yeah, because normally T isn't coming so close to M, but doesn't matter. But we have to be ending this higher low right now. That means V under A. We are sitting at $30 We have to go under 27 cents. Was the normal main tracking with this little section here where we try to make a bullish case out of it, but I think we will fall there down here. Maybe even till Friday. Yeah? If we fall this till Friday, I maybe add to my position. Yeah? Because then we are finished with this. After this should come the bounce. The only bearish alternative for this is you are not allowed to drop under 20 cents. They also have already a reverse split voted for. So if you drop under 20 cents, you will fall to 10 cents. They will reverse split and the game is over. Yeah? But as long as we bounce here, it doesn't matter. And I really want to say, FFAI dropped on Friday 9%. Yeah. Normally, that's a big move. For FFAI, 9% is nothing. Yeah. Big moves on FFAI start at 30, 50, 60, 80%. So you have a fucking market knife, but FFAI just says, I don't care. Yeah, because this was not a big move for FFAI. So it's a plus point. Yeah? So let's see what we get next week. Next one, OKLO, because I got the question, is it still looking good? And yes, it is also. Yeah. For the main tracking, we had our V, we ran up to our A. We need a quite perfect 0.5 pullback and bounce. We went up to our B, made a 0.5618 pullback and bounced. Then we went into micro tracking. We made a small, let's go a little bit lower. We made a V, small higher low, broke out of trend over T, which is our A. We did a 0.5 pullback here, I think. Was it a 0.5 pullback? Yeah, 618 pullback and bounced. I already said when I first showed this, I would expect that we do a higher low. Thing is, I think I was expecting this already a week ago. Yeah, we didn't got this week ago. Well, but the only thing to look at this right now, yeah, that this is just our little higher low. Yeah, it went a little bit too high, but in that case, higher low. We are under the 76. We should get the bounce here. Yeah, this was also this Friday. Yeah, was just the ending of this higher low. We should bounce next week, and then everything is fine. Yeah. Still, next target should be still July for 124 our little B. Yeah. The only thing which would be bearish, we are not allowed to break this low. Yeah, 54. We are not allowed to break this low. If we break this low, and to say that, it wouldn't make sense for me, but if we break this low, this thing would become T. You will fall down here, you will break under 45, and then we already have the problem with our B pullback. Yeah, this would be too low for this macro B. Yeah, in that case, I really have to look it up then, but it isn't looking like it would do that. But let's see. Yeah, for levels, bounce, not going under 54. Yeah, then everything is fine. Otherwise, I will go out of this thing. If we break this low, I'm out. Yeah, but right now, still looks fine. Next one, GoPro. Also, because I got the question, I'm not going over the full tracking today, just what we've done. If you're interested, you can look at the homepage or watch the last videos. I already updated this on the homepage already before Friday. The thing is, we had two versions. The first version would have been the same as OKLO, that we are doing a higher low and bounce here. This version is dead, yeah, because we broke it. But it's still okay. Yeah, this is still our A pullback. The thing is, I expect the bounce here right now. Yeah, I mean, if you look, we already did it, most likely. Yeah, the thing is, this wouldn't be the low yet. Yeah, I would still expect that we now come up here. We can delete this already. This we don't need anymore. Yeah. I would still expect something over $216. This would be just our little T, and then one last drop. Yeah, doesn't have to be much, but something. I would even say, yeah, something 86 cents. This would be our V, and then we can start with the normal bullish tracking again. Yeah, will take a little bit more time. Yeah, but still bullish. For levels, if whatever reason, because there is a possibility, a tiny one, because this was so volatile, that somewhere in here is our T. A tiny one. Yeah. If we bounce here, anything over 131 is bullish and the pullback is finished. Anything under 74 cents and something is wrong and run. Yeah, just saying. This would be too low. Yeah? But otherwise, also, GoPro, what did it do on Friday? Also a 10%. Nothing. Didn't destroy any tracking. I even posted this before the market was opening on Friday. Yeah. Look it up on the homepage. So, yeah, wasn't bad, even with this market crash. So, very, very, very short update on NEO. Also, on NEO, we didn't, just to say that, yeah, for NEO, if you're interested, watch the big roadmap update video, for example. I will link at the end of the video. This is just really a small update. Nothing changed. Even with this drop on Friday, nothing changed. For NEO, we only have 2 versions. I mean, we are running out of time. I say that really because I would expect still be till end of June, whatever happens. But we have 2 versions. We bounce here, yeah, next week because this is higher low is finished. Or this was a T and we have to go lower one more time before we bounce. But nothing changed on NEO. The only thing, again, everything over 626, no downside anymore. Everything under 438 and something is wrong. I don't want to see to fall under this. And otherwise, macro position is still holding. Yeah. I would say we are still right now in somewhere in this candle here. Yeah. After that, we get this. Yeah. So let's see. And to make that absolutely clear for everything what we were talking about on this channel, nothing broke. I mean, okay, GME broke. Shit. BYND was close. FFAI looks good. OKLO looks good. GoPro looks good. Plug looks good. DGT is pulling back in its higher low. Virgin Galactic looks good. HKT looks good. NEO looks good. Bad Buff and Beyond, right? C3i, Cloth, Unity. Even GNS holded its level on Friday. Sava is going to its higher low. Fusel is in its B pullback. Nothing broke, yeah, except GME, yeah. So let's see. I really hope I'm wrong on our main memes. If not, we have enough other tickers. And to make one thing before I close here, absolutely clear, just Google it. Before AMC and GME and course were the last memes in 2021 whose course, the last ones. There were hundreds, many of all of on our ticker list, which went a year, half a year, or a month before AMC and GME. If AMC and GME really need till 2027, it most likely will be the same shooting order like 2020. Yeah. So yeah, if you only play AMC and GME, the bearish version would be better. Yeah. But otherwise, there are a lot of possibilities there. And to be fair, I still hope I am fucking wrong. Really, this time I want to be wrong. Okay. So, as always, tutorial here, playlist here, the big roadmap update video back here. If you liked it, leave a like. If you want to see more, leave an abo. And let's hope you can write me nasty chats on Monday. See ya.